Top three things to consider when buying your next investment property that no one talks about. One, how are your neighbors? Is your neighbor keeping up with their property? Does it look nice? Or is it falling apart and needing disrepair? It is something to consider, as having a rough neighbor can affect your rent at your current property. And or, people just don't want to live next to a trashy neighbor. I have seen this before on a property where we had probably the nicest property on the block, and the neighbor actually had like a junkyard going. I don't know what they were doing. The entire front yard and backyard was just filled with junk and vehicles, and it made that property almost impossible to lease out. Two, parking. Check the parking at your property. There are some tenants that like to have guests over, they like to entertain, and they need spots for people to park in. Nothing crazy on the parking, just is the parking adequate for the property? Is it a 3-bedroom, but there's only one place to park? So basically one vehicle can fit there. Just something to consider when buying the property. How is the parking? Number 3, utilities. How are the utility bills? Not necessarily what utilities the property has, but how are the bills? These tenants are renting out these properties. They're spending their money on rent, and one thing that they're really not considering or thinking about is their utility bills. Having a property that is not efficient will cause problems down the road. That's something that they're not taking into account with their finances. And so if you have a property that is inefficient, the utility bills are going to cause problems. So just look at the property with eyes of it being efficient. Is the appliances a little bit newer that are energy efficient? How's the insulation? Do all the windows shut and seal? Do the doors shut and seal? Just something to consider. I've seen it over and over again, older properties, just not very efficient, and the utility bills just kill the tenant's potential to keep rent paid on time.